If you're a woman dealing with leaking, pressure, or heaviness down in the pelvic area, well, you're not alone. Any woman over the age of 40 experiencing these symptoms may have heard of their pelvic floor and also may be doing some exercises or some things to help their symptoms. But in this video today, I'm going to talk about some of the common lifestyle changes or habits that tend to make these problems worse. So my name is Dr. Dawn Andalone. I'm a pelvic floor specialist, a women's health physical therapist, and there are a lot of factors when it comes to having these symptoms and not just thinking about doing exercises for them, but what lifestyle changes, what habits in your day can make your symptoms better that you can start incorporating right at this time. Certain moves or habits can make your problem a lot worse. So number one is you don't want to overdo Kegel exercises. Well, what is a Kegel exercise? It's when you tighten and squeeze the muscles around your vaginal area, thinking of if you're about to go to the bathroom and you squeeze and hold so you stop the flow of urine. That is a Kegel exercise. Now, what not to do is don't practice those in the bathroom and also don't overdo them. Overdoing Kegel exercises and doing hundreds in a day is just going to work on tightening and tightening and tightening. But if you still have the problem of leaking or pressure or heaviness or even pelvic pain with intimacy, you could be making your problem worse. Like any other muscle in your body, you don't want to just squeeze and tense all the time a muscle. You want to work on lengthening and letting it go and relaxing it, but then also contracting it too. Many times we're told to do Kegel exercises and just squeeze and squeeze, but that could be contributing to the problem because you're not actually working on the down training or letting it go or relaxing the tissue. So what you need to do instead is work on some deep breathing exercises. This allows the pelvic floor to release, kind of like think of a flower opening. So that way you are taking that pelvic floor back to its normal state. Think of a trampoline. It recoils, but it also lengthens a bit. And so it's supportive, but it's not going to be in that contracted position all the time or that shortened position. So same thing with Kegel exercises. Don't overdo them. If you're practicing them in the bathroom, bad idea. That's just a test that we tell people of how to locate those muscles. But if you're doing that in the restroom when your muscles are supposed to be relaxed, you're going to confuse your brain, tricking your bladder too. So you don't want to do that. Next is something that may surprise you, your posture. Having proper posture, stacking your ribs right over your hips and your pelvis when you're standing and when you're sitting also allows for proper breathing mechanics of your diaphragm and your lungs and your rib cage. But not only that, you can efficiently use your core muscles that support your trunk and also your pelvis, and your pelvic floor muscles will relax if you're in a more upright position. Now, if you tend to sit a little slumped over or you're sitting on a couch with your tail like against your tailbone in that curled position, you will shorten and contract the pelvic floor muscles. So they're not in their normal state to work properly. And we see this a lot with people that spend a lot of time sitting in the car or sitting at a desk. So you want to make sure you sit right over those sits bones and stack your spine up nice and tall. I have another video on how to sit at your desk without hurting, and that talks about the principles of what to look out for and how to sit in a proper position so your muscles can actually support you better and you won't create bad habits through your pelvic floor as well. Next is avoiding high intensity workouts unless you are prepping for it. And what I mean by that, if you're doing a lot of running, jumping, or anything really intense with both feet leaving the ground, your pelvic floor muscles are going to be challenged a bit. So if you're someone that gets a little bit of leaking or any symptoms with those activities, then we know that your core and your pelvic floor aren't working properly together. So doing exercises related to helping the core and pelvic floor really set a good foundation before you go into those more strenuous exercises are going to be the best bet. I have the perfect solution for this with my pelvic floor Pilates program. And anyone that's having any kind of leaking or back pain or just wants to get their core stronger and feel more stable when they are weightlifting or doing anything more high intense, this is the perfect program for that, with only 15 minutes a day of some mat Pilates, strictly strengthening your core and pelvic floor, and perfect for that. So check out that link below if that is you and you're getting any of those symptoms with doing higher intensity exercise. I would say especially for women over 40, as our joints become a little more sensitive, we definitely want to build up the muscle strength around your glute muscles, around your hips, and around your core, because this is also going to help less wear and tear on your knees and your ankles and also your lower back. So setting your body up for a strong foundation from your trunk muscles and your pelvic floor is going to help your whole body, especially if you're trying to do things for longevity, not just a quick workout and get it in and work hard, but we start to think about our workouts a little bit differently and want our body to recover and feel better afterward too. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about is not holding your breath with lifting anything. This is a common mistake. So if you go to lift a couch or something heavy, we tend to do what's called the Valsalva maneuver, which means we're really clenching and tightening everything. But if you're holding your breath at the same time, that's increasing the pressure behind your abdominal wall and down into your pelvic area. And this is going to put more pressure on your pelvic organs and not great for your pelvic floor. So make sure if you are lifting anything heavy, you are going to exhale and engage the muscles with an exhale at the same time. And thinking of what muscles to contract, you're actually contracting your lower abdominals, thinking of pulling those in toward your spine, and a little hug and lift of the pelvic muscles, meaning when you stop the flow of urine, you're pulling in those muscles just slightly, maybe 50% of your pressure, enough that it gives you a little support. But use your breathing and exhale as you lift anything heavy. This is going to protect your pelvic floor with the contraction of those muscles. And that's a healthy habit to follow for anyone that does any kind of weightlifting as well. So I hope you learned something in this video. I find that a lot of women with pelvic floor conditions, they don't know these strategies and these lifestyle habits and things that you can change in order to help yourself in the long run, so you don't end up in your 70s, 80s, and 90s leaking and having a lot of pelvic floor issues. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. I love to talk about different women's health topics to help guide you and support you on your health journey. So you'll find more videos on my channel related to pelvic floor and Pilates on this channel. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.